Good evening. Welcome again to our live broadcast here in the Issues Room on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. We're still having problem with Twitter, which is now X. But of course, we'll check it out. But in the meantime, let's come together again. It's a pleasure having you guys here tonight. I appreciate your viewership, and we say thank you for joining us here on this production. This is the 248th broadcast. Volcano Shelton here with you this evening. We'll be joined shortly by Alphonso and also Moses. But we just like to thank you. Uh, we did tell you that on last Tuesday that we will be broadcasting coming September 15th, only on Sunday at 3 p.m. We shared that information. So we want to continue to remind you, our viewers, that we're going to go one day a week. And the reason is that there's a lot put into social media podcast. And as working men and women, a lot of time people got so much going on during the week. And so we decided to uh, narrow our broadcast down to a day, and that day will be on Sunday at 3 p.m. here in the U.S. That would be the standard time, but it would change between here and Liberia, 7 p.m., 4 hours, or 8 p.m. when the time changed to 5 hours. Thank you so much. Good to see you all. Welcome, T. Dawkins Riches. Have you made it to Liberia yet? Have you gone to Richard Drive off of GSA Road, a little bit away from Shelton Avenue? But listen, man, welcome, Alfonso. Good to see you.
Good to see you, my brother. Good to be here with you. Glad to be here every day. Hi to our listeners. Yeah, let's get it on.
Yeah, before that, my daughter's birthday is tomorrow, July 20th. So, Evangeline, if you're listening and watching, of course, I just want to wish you a wonderful, happy pre-birthday. I should be going out of town tonight. After the show, I'll be heading up to Boston. Uh, just a quick run back and forth. So expect me. I'll be there, just to give you a hug and a kiss. But yes, she'll be celebrating her birthday tomorrow, July 20th. So happy
Wonderful,
pre-birthday,
wonderful.
and
I want to say happy birthday as well to the young,
yeah,
beautiful lady.
yeah, and I will say it again later on in the show, because right now we just started, and I didn't want to forget it. At least so you can hold me
Yeah,
in contempt.
you get
Uh,
in trouble.
yeah, and some of me for clarification,
Yeah.
like the legislature in Liberia. When you see the funny thing, yeah, those men do all the wrong things. But sooner the executive branch does a little bit, then they want all the people there. You got to feed the guy
Exactly.
power. The
Yeah.
next thing now, you're in contempt, we'll put you in jail, lock you up for 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah, the executive can't, unfortunately, the executive can't bring them in and say, "Your come, no question, your too." So so they're doing their
But
thing.
but but if the lawmaker did something so egregious, can law enforcement who just under the branch of the executive deal with them?
Oh, they can. Oh, yes. Let's
But
say, yeah,
all the things the men will be doing, deal with them.
yeah. A lawmaker breaks the law, you can get arrested, you can get prosecuted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So why there always got to be someone in the
exactly.
executive
Yeah,
for a small team?
exactly.
And like I said, they're the big breakers of the law, big breakers.
That is
You know.
true. New Jersey Senator, a New Jersey senator was just convicted for corruption. It pay to play. He was taking money from people and using his influence for them to get businesses, like our people do. And he was just convicted, and he
And
might be sentenced. His sentencing is in August. So yeah, the executive can do that to some of those people.
personally, there's no way. There's no way. The longer we take to effectuate the laws and to put people, hold people forward to the fire, hold them accountable. Most is your life. If you're still trying to fix your jacket and your glasses, let me know. So, you know, as I was saying, right? The longer
Right.
we continue to drag on holding people accountable in that country, it just seemed to be the same story of business as usual. You know, how can they continue to hold other people in contempt, but they can be held in contempt or held accountable? And I think we talked about it in many ways that the citizens, the constituents, have that ultimate power to collect signature and do what they're supposed to do as
Hmm.
per the Constitution.
Absolutely. Actually, citizens, I forget what the Constitution specifically says, but citizens in a particular district or county have to collect a certain amount of signatures. And with that amount of signature, they can remove their representative or senator from office.
So just before we start this conversation, Moses, we're gonna go back to last week. There were mixed emotions about the audience here who were thinking that we were just one-sided. But the IG just in a few minutes spoke about it because the question was asked. And he mentioned there was a potential for serious chaos at the airport. In fact, he did mention that he went there in his capacity as a civilian Liberian to go and get his family, even though he still an official of government, he could have used the special amenities provided to them, but instead he wanted to do it within the confines of his Liberianism and unofficial. But what he saw there was just unnecessary. And then he mentioned we only have one major airlines, international airlines, that when it leaves Europe, it gets directly to Monrovia, which is Brussels. With Air Morocco making a stop in Casablanca, he doesn't count it. And they're in the works talking to airlines to, improve the condition for Liberians to go more with varieties of airlines instead of, you know, just the two airlines coming into the country. What is the uptake when people come to see the airport converged upon by people who look like they want to wage war? People who wearing regalia, people who chanting battle cries, people who just languishing around the front of the airport that should be free so that cars can drop. Look at that woman who was dragging her suitcase and she was so mad. Dragging her suitcase because the car should have dropped her right to departure. Get up, take her suitcase down, go through the first security check, enter the terminal, and go to the ticketing counter to be able to get processed from there into immigration. So this IG is saying that it was not. They invited them. They told them you have to use the VIP. The opportunity was there, but they just wanted to go do the same thing we're talking about. The man stay in denial. He wants to continue to behave like he's the president. His entourage is on the tarmac. He gets down. He shake hand. you know, but man, you're talking about. I'm done.
Well, first, let me say good evening to our many viewers, and let me say hi to the both of you. It's a pleasure to be here. Uh, I definitely agree with everything you guys said. There's a need. Um, Mr. Weir, whether we like it or not, his name is already in history. You know, his former president, he served Liberia under 6 years. I mean, for 6 years. His performance, everybody knows that he performed very poorly. The records reflect that. The record also reflect that he's the only man in the history of Liberia that his administration has the highest number of, sanctioned public officials. So the records are all there. We know how poorly he performed, and we respect his service to the country, whether bad or good. We take it for what it is. But it's unnecessary distraction that when he's coming in the country, they have to shut everything down because this failure, is coming back in the country again, and he living in this dream world that is in some kind of competition with an incumbent president. It's just unfortunate, and I hope Mr. Weah will begin to hold consultation with some of his people because there are a lot of people who are misleading him. They're telling, oh, my man, you can do this, you can do that, but there are laws in our country. I'm telling you, if I'm privileged to be president of Liberia, George Weah will never arrive in Monrovia like that. When the Moses Seni is in that executive mansion, no, I will give strict instruction that they have to tell Mr. Weah that Mr. Seni is the president. You're not in no competition with him. We will treat you like any other citizen. You will go through the VIP loan. We treat you like a former president, but you're not going to, stall the movement of people only because you want distraction. No. And I think that is the level at which President Boakai should proceed.
and put his
Judge
foot
Weah
down.
has to be told. Yeah, Judge Weah has to be told that he's former president. He's not president of Liberia. Let him forget about all the delusion, that he president. He lives in a different world now. He's not president. He's former president. He wants to be respected. As former president, he should conduct himself, behave himself. Other
So,
than
so let
that,
me
the law will
so,
take their
so,
course.
so let me add, and then Alfonso will come in from the legal
Yeah.
perspective quickly. So the same guy we're talking about, the what a guy named Foco, is that his
Yes.
name?
Yeah.
Okay,
Safogo. Yeah.
okay. So he went and puffered this old thing on the floor, right? Seeing why
Yeah.
the government assemble or deploy rather
Yeah.
the
Police.
military.
Airfield soldiers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean the military and in fact we're not in wartime and da 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 the optics and all of that. So the house immediately, because there's a dominance in the leadership of the house with regards to the CDC, they decided for some of these people and and to explain why was the AFL deployed. But why isn't the executive saying why were all of those people on the airport? We know it's the right, but they breached the security of the airport. The airport is not a park, it's not a fair ground. The airport, even if you went to the airport to receive your family member, you don't take over the entire front of the airport. You don't take over every place in front of the airport where many passengers are coming in and leaving, and you obstruct, and cars cannot come through. Only your people all over the place. So why are they not looking at the stampede created by the CDC that they, the Fonati, the Thomas Fowler, the various Focal men are all part of, but you summoning the people who are trying to maintain peace and stability. Alfonso, why?
Exactly. And I think the people who have been summoned need to go and make that clear to the legislators as well. I also think that, and Moses kind of hinted on that in his closing statement, the Justice Ministry, the police need to begin taking action right now. I don't know why they're waiting on. There were people who breached security at the airport. There were people who violated the law. There are people who were not allowed to enter certain perimeters of the airport, and they did. That is a violation. Those people are on video. Even if you didn't arrest them on that
Yeah, the
day,
video is
there are
right there. Yeah.
videos available. There are people who were there. You need to go after them, begin to arrest and prosecute them right now, including even legislators and other government officials. If they did not have the authority to go and to force their way in, they need to be held accountable. That's one way the executive can also act. And as you all said, that's one way we can nip this nonsense in the bud once and for all. You can't continue, it cannot continue to happen. When those people go and appear before the legislature, they need to tell them that hooliganism will not be tolerated in this country. That is our only international airport. That's where business people come. We're negotiating with people for more flights to come into the country. And when they see this type of disruption, they don't want to come. Liberians themselves. We saw that woman very impacted, dragging her bag from arrival to go to departure to go to exit for car to pick her up.
Mhm.
That's a that's breach of the law. That's a violation of the law, and they should begin to hold people accountable. Now, the issue of bringing military people and deploying army at the rivals field, they have a point. The military is not supposed to be used in civil matters, in civil disturbances, according to the law establishing, the armed forces of Liberia. It's supposed to be used in external matters. But in this case, they can justify that. Look, they even overran the security people who were there.
But
Yeah,
So we
that's
have,
the police is underfunded,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
undersupported,
The police is
understaffed.
underfunded. You guys left us a very small police force, understaffed, underfunded. They were overrun by the crowd. We needed to restore calm, and that's why we brought the military in. So, in as much as there's this law that said military should be used only on external aggression or whatever, but when the peace of the country is at stake, we have to take extra actions to make sure that we restore order. And that's, but in the future, you guys sitting here who are summoning us, don't lead crowds to go and break security barricades and get into the airport. And some of you were there, and some of you are part of the problem. They need to be told that, in addition to actions being taken against them. And we were talking before Moses came. Until we
Yeah,
begin to hold people accountable in Liberia for their actions, these stupid actions will continue to happen. Unfortunately, once there's no consequence, what's going to stop the person from doing the action that they're doing? That's just what it is. And the executive, unfortunately, I would say here, the Barker administration is too slow. It's moving too slowly in holding those people accountable, and that is why they're running around the streets of Monrovia doing the nonsense that they're doing.
yeah, and
And intriguingly, they
mhm,
left the termite and even claiming on the airplane.
of
Mhm.
course.
Well,
Mhm.
what kind of countriness is that, my brother?
But look, let me just add on to something that you guys said. To tell you the double standard of our lawmakers. You saw Thomas Fowler at our airport. You saw Nathaniel McGill. You saw Bill Torrey. And you saw the idiot called Safuko, at the very airport. And the same people turn around, they become the accuser and they become the judge. You
Mhm.
see the double standard of these people? You were there, you broke the law. People were in the intervene to restore peace. And you summon them to say, oh, why you deploy AFL soldiers? But did you not break the law? And you are a certain lawmaker, lawmaker paid by the taxpayers of Liberia, thousands of dollars. Some of you cannot even show one report to say this is what I have done in the legislature. This is my agenda for the district I represent, for the county I represent. But all you do, you are fanning the flame of trouble in the country. Every day you instigate crisis, you instigate crisis, you instigate crisis. You're putting people in the street. You're putting people at loggerhead. And at the same time, when something goes wrong, then you become the judge and the accuser at the same time. Then who are you? Who are you, gentlemen? The situation is very sad. And
And
Alfonso,
Gregory Coleman says something. Uh, the divide in Liberia is 50-50. One group
yeah,
is pulling and one group is hauling.
mhm.
You know, um, and it's not good for this country.
It's not.
You know, this whole indigenous ideology has killed Liberia. And I keep saying it since 1980. At least I'm grown enough to know that Liberia was a great and beautiful country. I know the Liberia that I grew up in, and I know the Liberia that has the possibility to bounce back from this foolishness that we put ourselves in. But how do we get there? How do we get there? We get there because we resolve to do it. And we have case studies around us, just right on the continent of Africa. The very Ghana that they all run to today has had its own crisis. But it took a leader to say enough is enough. But look at what we've been dealt with in the last three seasons. The Ellie Johnson study came talking about policy, and the policy didn't even go into effect because she was the same one stepping on the very policies. Corruption plagued her government. Then you come with we are who just say, you know, when you go to the pig pen and no food in the pig pen, you say, oh my man, just let the man outside. That's what we are did. We just opened the door for corruption. We just opened it. Then we got Boyka now who are depending on Pape. I'm telling you tonight, you too slow. You slow, man. They order Deacon business put it aside. You president now. Let the Deacon thing rest more. I know that Deacon thing someday you won't balance God. You won't, and you know somebody say you can't be president and be God man. It's hard.
No, man.
No, no, no,
No,
no, no.
no. What's about Tomo, my man?
What
Tomo was not God,
what
man.
happened to Tom? What happened to Tom? Let us go there. Let us go there. You can't be Deacon. You can't be pastor, then you won't be president. You know, he said, what happened to Arasti from Haiti? You got listen. We need serious president. That's what we're talking the other day. Dark mana, hate him or love him. Dark mana. That president in Liberia, then you're doing
And Dark Banana will go, and Dark Banana will go, man, and Dark Banana will pastor do.
it makes you pray. But no, the truth here is that I'm taking the phone out now and be serious. We need to take actions, and we need to take decisive actions. Nobody say violate the law, but use the law for the purpose. You and I work in leadership. We use the policy to hold the people who report to us accountable.
And how you do?
I don't go outside of that policy. The policy requires the frequencies of where to get to.
Before
What
the
did I
law
do?
go.
Did I do counseling? Did I sit down with that person to review the need for improvement within that area of violation? Do I have documentation to show that if I get questioned whether I did those things? And then when I give the first write-up, it's justified because the infraction will be there
For sure.
to show. If I give the second write-up, if I give the third write-up, or if I need to do consultation with my boss or with people operations HR, whatever it is. But you can't just allow the policy to go to sleep. You cannot allow the policy to go to sleep. Institutions are built and are protected by the policies and the framework put in place to govern their functions. And I see that in Liberia, we always say, oh, yeah, lead the people. Oh, yeah, lead the people. Oh, yeah, we're doing it. How about Ellington? So if we continue to revert to the time past, then we have no future. And that is why we're stuck in this present. And it seems as though what we see, we think we're moving anywhere. We're not moving anywhere. The rodeo. You guys know the rodeo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got a rodeo, you go to the rodeo, you get on the horse and you fighting with the horse, right? The live rodeo is different from the rodeo that they do the stationary bull
Mm-hmm.
that's in like a nightclub or a cowboy barn. You on it and it's jumping with you, but ain't going nowhere. The how Liberia look. Liberia look like a rodeo or stationary rodeo. You see things happening. Oh yeah, you just build one little roundabout. The people don't know how to walk through the roundabout. They don't know how to cross the road. So we're not going nowhere. You build market building. The people don't want to go in the market halls.
Yeah, we don't enforce the laws of the country.
They leave the market hall and they come and sell on the sidewalk. Somebody just asked the IGA a question. All over the sidewalks of Monrovia, all of the streets, the people literally take over with a market and businesses. So pedestrians must walk on the asphalt, on the main road. So yes, Liberia is a stationary rodeo. We just look like we bouncing and things happening, nothing is happening. Let me give you guys the opportunity before we go to our. So let's wrap up on this, then we go to our story here tonight.
So let me just say this: since we're talking about the airport, uh, there are a lot of good things happening in Liberia. So let's give credit to the Walker administration. Before I get to the good thing, let me say this. Like you and Alfonso said, I think President Boaka and Mr. President, we are not asking you to be your dictator.
No,
What we are asking you to do is to begin to utilize the executive authority which you have, hold people accountable, even if you will do everything you can within the confines of the laws of Liberia to make Mr. Weah understand that he's not above the laws of the country. Go ahead and do it. The international community will respect you for that. You are not in competition with George Weah. The UP is not in competition with the CDC. And we cannot allow this kind of lawlessness to continue. You have to lead. The executive power that you have, you must utilize it to the fullest. We're not saying that begin to throw people into prison, but if someone does something wrong, the law must take its course. That's my appeal to you.
I
Now back
think
to the good thing. Yeah, go ahead quickly.
sorry, yeah,
Yeah,
sorry. I
go
think
ahead.
part of the problem too is the people who have been put in charge of certain functionaries of government by President Buhari. I don't think President Buhari should be giving directives to the Minister of Justice to take action. I don't think President Buhari should be giving directives to the police to take action. They should know their jobs and they should take action because their jobs require them to take certain actions. Workers shouldn't have to call the director of police, for example, to say the people who broke through the barricades at the airport, go arrest them and prosecute them. No, we shouldn't do that. Some of them should be, because once we begin to ask our leaders to do those things, we are veering into dictatorship. We are veering into what there might come a situation whereby somebody says something and Barker don't like it, then he tell the police director or justice minister go catch that person. Then we'll stop it. So the police director, Mr. Como, the justice minister, we should also put pressure on them to begin to do the job that they are supposed to do. It's not enough to come on school or go somewhere and have a press conference and say the country is divided 50-50, there are people are pulling and here and there. It is your job to enforce the law. Begin to enforce it. If you don't enforce it, by the way, the people who pull in will continue to pull. We know the history of the CDC.
and you're right. You're right. Sorry, they will
Yeah,
continue to pull because no one is acting. No one is
exactly.
utilizing the
Yeah,
laws. No one is effectuating policies and
yeah,
holding people accountable. I mean,
exactly.
anywhere in the world, even in your house as the father, if
Yeah,
you're not holding your children accountable to the standards of your home, they will go amok. They will do whatever they want to do. They will break the
exactly.
curfew. They will come home at will anytime.
And
Precisely.
and
Precisely.
and Volcano, what you have said is the same thing I was saying. If you are the head of the home as a dad, and you notice that things beginning to fall apart, you and your wife will hold a conversation and say, "Look, tell the kids, I don't want to see this happening." So when we say Mr. Barker must utilize his executive authority, this is what we're talking about, where he can hold consultation with his legal advisors, the Minister of Justice. And don't forget that George Weah is not an ordinary man. He holds this conversation behind the scenes. Say, look, this is what we are noticed. I think this is getting out of control. And with my directive, I want the police to step up to the place. I want the justice ministry to step up to the place. I'm not saying throw people into prison, but if anyone breaks the laws of this country, there are penalties, there are consequences. Those people should be held accountable. That's where the presidency comes in. You know? Yeah, go
I
ahead.
No, I
Alfonso.
totally agree. I totally
Mhm.
agree. The president once in a while. I was just saying the
Yeah,
president also has to be careful, and we have
yeah,
to be careful in terms of how we do that
definitely.
because, again, we don't want a president who just giving directives to go after his opponents and what have you. We also don't want a domineering. We already have an imperial presidency in Liberia. We don't want the president to. But I wasn't even disagreeing with you. I was saying that those officers, government officials who are in charge, are not doing their job. That's the point I was also trying to make. The
Okay.
police didn't do their job. They haven't done their job. Up to this date, I haven't heard that anybody was arrested. It doesn't have to be George Weah. It can just be the people who force their way if they force their way into the place. You begin with those people. Doesn't have to be George Weah. Doesn't have to be one of the top officials. I'm sure those people were given permission to enter the VIP or whatever, but the whole crowd, you have to begin to send a message. And with those other people, you can deal with them through different stuff. You can deny them entry into the place. Next time and those kinds of things. But I believe they didn't force their way through. They were allowed because they're government officials. But if they're going to go and bring crowd with them and cause trouble, then you need to ban them from entering if they're not traveling. So
Mhm.
definitely can do that portion. I think
Yeah,
the police director and the justice minister need to begin to take action and hold people accountable. The president of the United States doesn't call the justice ministry. They didn't call the judge and say, go arrest this person and go prosecute them. No, in fact, there's a law against that. And that same law exists in Liberia too. The president is not supposed to interfere with the activities of the justice. The justice ministry in Liberia is the one ministry in government. It's like the attorney general here that can disagree with the president. The law says it, and the president not even supposed to interfere in the affairs of especially when it comes to prosecution and stuff. So those people need to be strong, they need to be firm, and they need to begin to do their jobs. And we should put them in a line of fire as well for them to stop doing their job.
And
yeah,
interestingly, as we wrap up on this, I think the truth there is we have just made no effort, made no effort. So many heinous things have happened in that country. Even within this so called post war normalcy that we enjoy today, people still testing the waters and getting away with it. Look at the issue of a Chinese national who pillaged our natural resources is being aided and abetted allegedly by people in the very first branch of government. Allegedly. And this man is on the run, he's nowhere to be seen. You have two of your diplomats who left Liberia to go to South Korea under the Weah's government. The poor guys are in jail. Maybe will be there for the rest of their lives. Who knows? The maritime gentleman, you remember the story.
yeah. The two gentlemen. Yeah.
No, no, no.
You
This
know,
is serious.
they were accused. They were accused of some,
There are no rape
sexual
charges.
thing. Yeah, rape. Yeah,
But the point I'm making here is Princess Copper died on a similar circumstance, and those guys disappeared. They allowed them to leave the country. So imagine we're giving foreigners the freedom to do harm to our people and we let them out. Then eternally, our own officials of government do things and they get away with it. So when will the law becomes the law? And when will the law hold all of us accountable? When? And gentlemen, I thought to bring this up so we can remember that we even don't hold foreigners accountable for hurting us, for coming to kill, for coming to steal from us. Officials in government aid and obey them out of the country. Give them an opportunity to leave, play mango mango in the Liberian term, and let them leave. The same government officials come to do whatever, and they expect, you know, to have no repercussion. And yes, because the law is just ceremonious. Because what is a gun if there's no finger to pull the trigger? What is a gun? What's the value of a gun if there's no finger to pull the trigger? A gun has value because someone will pull the trigger. So what are laws? What are policies? If no one is there to logically implement them and put those policies in place and action so that they can hold those who violate them accountable. Let's talk about that in the next 2 minutes, and then we go to our opening of the story we want to carry.
Yeah, I'm sure you're talking about this Chinese fellow
Not just,
who,
just all of the things that the foreigners go to Liberia and do and get away with it because they are the government officials are in the pockets and they're able to buy the way out.
yeah,
But then we got some of our Liberians who, for minor things, are languishing in foreign countries all around the world, and no one gives a damn, and they're going to die there.
yeah, I just want to narrow down a little bit on this Chinese fellow and a group of Chinese that dupe the people of Liberia of millions of dollars. The police, law enforcement went after him, and then you have insiders of the administration. This guy was in the mining business. They were doing business with the Ministry of Lands, Mines, and Energy. They will go, get then this temporary license for exploration. So they go up country, and when they explore and they determine that there is mineral, the law requires that you go back to the ministry to get, you know, um, the appropriate legal documents that will allow you now, or the license that will allow you to engage in actual mining. They were not doing that. They were using exploration licenses, and they were just all over the country, literally stealing from the people of Liberia. This man, we are told, um, was arrested for defrauding government of over $46 million. Now the man is on the run. Insiders of the government. Fingers have been pointed at my Gibby County Senator Natana McGill. Finger being pointed at Grand Cape County Senator Simeon Taylor, and Abachi. This guy have been accused of being behind the aiding and the abetting of this criminal, in leaving the country. How credible is that? I don't know, but we are just speaking based on what is in the public domain. So this is what happened. If we just talk about the whole mining thing here, when Mr. Weah was president, what he did, he gave a directive. He gave a directive to the Minister of State. Nathaniel McGill was then Minister of State. He said, "Look, I want you to write the Ministry of Lands, Mines, and Energy that before they issue any operation license to any investor or anyone who wants to engage into mining, those people needed to be vetted by the executive mansion." So he took the authority, the power that the Minister of Lands, Mines, and Energy had, or the Ministry of Lands and the Ministry of Lands, Mines, and Energy had, to say, "Hey, we're going to review your application. We feel that you have these, I mean, you met these requirements, and we can approve you." Mr. We are told Nathaniel McGill, we're going to do the vetting.
So
So they took the authority from there.
let me make a
Yeah,
quick point of
yeah.
correction. Now in Liberia, there's no more Ministry of Lands, Mines, and Energy. No, no, it's a correction. I'm trying
Oh,
to.
right? Okay.
It's now the Ministry of Mines and Energy and the Liberia Land Authority. So land
Oh, okay.
authority is a whole nother thing now. All
Oh,
land.
okay. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. And thanks for providing that information. So Mr. Weah and his people took that authority from the ministry and gave that authority to the Ministry of State in the office of the president. So the Ministry of State, the guys will receive all the application, they review it, and then they go to Nathaniel McGill and the others who had no expertise in mining. George Weah, clueless of anything, they will now decide, say, "Oh yeah, Volcano is qualified." Then they tell the Minister of Lands, Mines, Energy, and Land Authority or whatever, "Now you can issue license permit. As a result, these guys were able to defraud the government of Liberia millions of dollars. Gentlemen, how do you do this? If you appoint me as the head of the janitorial department at Walmart, if someone is to be trained within that department to do a piece of job, you take that authority from me. You say, oh, let Volcano do the review. Let Volcano determine whether this man is qualified to do the job or not. Then what is the essence of having me there? And that's the Liberia that we have. That's why you see all the controversy in the mining sector. You see this car coming, they break the law, they come to bribe all of our lawmakers. Now turn up McGill and all the other guys. How you think they got rich overnight? How you think these people became millionaires? How about you? How you think these people became millionaires overnight? Because they literally defrauded the country of millions of dollars. Let me stop there,
And
guys.
you know the interesting thing, when the Liberian man got small money, it doesn't hard. It got get big. You saw that on the airport. You saw that on the tarmac.
Oh yeah, yeah, man.
So a big car though. So Fogo he start eating here. That's why he talking plenty. You saw Thomas Fala got. You saw Bill Toy with got. You saw
Other boys are pregnant. Oh.
you just see Sir Joseph got. Let us start eating small money Liberian men. The
Man,
trademark show
man.
the corruption that is coming.
All the people pregnant now, man.
That is
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah. I
Trademark.
think you guys said it, my man. The problem in Liberia is not the lack of laws. We do have other laws. In fact,
Yeah.
what we did was we just came to America. We
Yeah.
went to Cornell. We went to other places, and we copied
And
all of
copy
their
all the
laws and
people
implemented.
lost, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we have the exact same laws in Liberia, and in some cases we even have better laws because they haven't changed their laws ever since, and we have made some
Oh,
changes in our
now me
laws to.
Yeah,
Dualo.
yeah. Follow.
How are you, Dualo?
Here from Oswald. Thank you for
Yeah,
showing up tonight. If you can call,
so
say will give you at least 2 3 minutes to weigh in. So the number is 40427222808. Maybe just can tell us a little bit, because you were in Liberia. I saw your project, so it will we will appreciate if you can just call. I believe you still have the number just to kind of weigh in. Thank you. Go ahead.
yeah, so
Go
yeah,
ahead, go
no,
ahead,
no,
go ahead.
no. So the point I was making is the point you all have already made, and we all have made multiple times, which is simply holding people accountable. If we don't hold people accountable, there's nothing that stops them from doing it, and it's just clear through our history. From government to government, people come and steal, and nothing happens. They build their mansions to become wealthy people. They move. Another group get there, do the same thing. That's one of the main reasons corruption continues in Liberia, and we just need. There has to be a break. And I know Moses alluded to it a little bit earlier that the Black administration is doing some good things. They're moving in that direction, but in
Mhm.
my view, they're moving slowly, too slowly when it comes to holding people accountable.
Of
Let's take,
course,
for
yeah.
example, the last group of people that were sanctioned by the U.S. Government, and the
Yeah.
U.S. government specifically said the reasons why Tuawe, Miguel, and
Yeah.
who was the other person? Ted
What the
person.
name?
Yeah,
The minister, the former
yeah.
minister of finance.
Okay.
What they
Tuawe.
call it? Yeah, Samuel Tuer. Yeah,
Specifically
probably
that,
Koji and all the other
yeah,
people.
specifically that they form shell companies and funnel government contracts to those companies, giving themselves millions of dollars, stealing from the Liberian people. Companies not even performing any jobs, but they just go and funnel millions of dollars to them. What's preventing or what's holding the Barker administration back? And the U.S. has said, we have, here's our investigation. If you ask for the information, we'll give it to you. What's preventing government investigatory agencies, the Ministry of Justice, the police, from going, or the Barker administration in general, asking the U.S. embassy, say, oh, y'all get all those documents. We want to review them. We're doing our, and would want to do our own investigation and start prosecuting these people. It's 7 months. It's 8 months. Why isn't there any movement in that direction as yet? And there are many, many other things. There's a lot of other reports, that were done prior. That's still sitting, that have been done to it, that's still sitting on the desk of the president, that's sitting in the legislature. Why isn't the government acting on these things, or
And
what
I will say why. I'll say why.
on
I'll
these
say
things?
why.
And it's important for us to push them, for them to begin to act. They're doing some things. They try to set up the War and Economic Crimes Court. If you look at that document, it has two components: the war crimes aspect and the economic crimes. And the economic crimes aspect is to create a special corruption court in Liberia to try corruption cases, so as to speed up corruption trials instead of putting them through the regular criminal prosecution system, which delays them. So they're moving in a way. But we don't need to wait for the creation of a special corruption court before we prosecute people for corruption. We can, as they say here in America, walk and chew gum at the same time. Let's begin to do those things. That's the only way you put fear in people so they don't do these things. That, as you guys are saying, facilitate the Chinese man running away from the country with millions of dollars and those kinds of things. You need to begin to hold people accountable. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, you asked the question, and the reason for these delays when people already have, you see, President Boaga, I don't think he's a corrupt man. I'm thinking here that he got people around him now with the intent to test him and to do corruption. And so as a result, we see what's happening. We're questioning the 285 earth moving equipment, how it got in the country, no head or tail. We know that we are came with the intent to steal, and especially the people around him, they all came with the intent to steal. So what did he say? I will protect Madame Salif and her children. After Madame Salif agreed that Nokar was squandered under her leadership, that Nokar became nothing under her leadership, he said to the Liberian people, I will protect the Omar, because he knew going after her will limit his intention to steal. Going after her will limit the intention of his people, his cronies around him to steal. So what happens? 6 years. Look at the caliber of people who are millionaires and super millionaires in your country. You and I, who are very, very educated, who got more to offer Liberia, we're still hustling on bread. Is that fair? Look at the people, the caliber of people who are rich at the expense of the downtrodden masses. And even with the richest, they still can compare to you and myself. They still wearing crippling suit because they didn't know how to dress, didn't know the kind of clothes to wear. They still using Chinese toothpaste. Listen, some nights say I want to be strictly honest. I want to call a spade, and I don't care how people see it. So it's not how much money they've stolen, but what are they doing with this money, Moses? To be frank, what are they doing with this money?
Well, man, you
I've
see
been
the
in
viewer.
circle. I've been in circle where I pass by government officials. I look around. I'm wondering, where all the money you're stealing? You can't even buy good cologne. I'm not kidding you. I'm calling it spade a spade.
Man, boy, yeah.
No. It's serious stuff. You guys have not been to Liberia.
No,
I
the
go there.
colon not there, my man. No, the colon not there.
The men don't take trips. The men don't take trips, man. Come on.
Man, honestly, look,
All the money they still they can't even for good
look,
cologne. Hold on, my man.
look,
Value calling. Hold on.
yeah.
No. I mean, you see something. I'm scared of nobody because at the end of the day, I'm looking for
You
anybody.
ain't looking for no joy.
Valu,
Yeah, G, how you doing, my
my
man?
man, you tell me, man, what's going on?
No, I didn't mean to call, but what you just said, calling a spade a spade.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, how you doing, y'all? Look,
Yeah,
let me
not
say
bad,
this.
Gualo. How are you?
We have to call things exactly as they are. Here's the reason why I'm calling to the show. You see Volcano put a 4 in top to study all night for years to do that. The message we're sending to young people: education does not matter. You just have to come to the government and loot as much as you can with total impunity. These guys, they walk around and flaunt money that they have not earned. They invented nothing. They've written no books. They come up with no new idea. They have not provided any solution for the society, but they just got filthy rich overnight. And you're not supposed to talk it because you want to appease them. Look, we have to say it bluntly. They were getting my inbox. Oh, Charlie, my man, they think, yeah, you don't know where another time can. You want to put more. You put more on me today again, go me and start stealing. We got to stop this. Call it as it is. Look, Volcano, you said it right. We're not here for a long time. All. Look, I'm not going to die a million times before I die. But what I will say to the people of Liberia, just stop celebrating these criminals that should ordinarily be horseboys. God, get men that didn't want to become millionaires in the country.
I tell you.
They got no idea to provide any solution for the country. But we're not supposed to talk. They say, oh, cheat. No, me, I'm calling nobody cheat. If I come to the country, I will save my peace and I will make sure I protect myself. And if look, that thing what they did way back where people will be afraid of them bringing pay, some kind of ground ball who can't do nonsense. This country is equally mine. We want this country to develop. But the only way we can do it, Volcano, we got to do it in the right way where we reward things that are worth rewarding.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
we're rewarding the wrong things.
Know,
This is crazy.
You know something you asked the IG tonight, and I thought to bring it up because when the Chief Justice had her situation, the people were saying, "Oh, Maria Central Prison is deplorable. How can you send a?" So I said, "But the Chief Justice was Minister of Justice. At one point, Chief Justice.
Thank
They
you.
didn't put the resources in the prison to make it decent. Now here they go. And you said it tonight, Dwalu. You asked,
Yeah.
you said these cells got all the poo bucket and the pee bucket in there. One day you and myself will end up in there.
Thank you.
So we taking the money. The legislator think he will be legislator for the rest of his life.
That's what they
What
think.
if we grab him and put him in that same cell now with the pee bucket and the poo bucket and say, poo right here where your man is looking at you?
Thank you.
You getting the point, and that was a very good analogy and question you asking, because we're not putting building institutions in a way that when we retire or when we get in trouble, you can build a retirement center and you don't put amenities there, thinking that you're not going to get old. Then when you get old now, you got to be climbing step, but there's no elevator.
Yeah,
How
they
you
want
manage
people.
it? then you say people want to put you on the back to climb you
No,
up the step.
I'm not thank you for the show, man. I'm following you.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
You
You're
know,
welcome, Dwalo.
so I mean,
So
these
so
are
I worked on the prison issue for years through the
uh-huh.
Justice and Peace Commission when we were there, and I can tell you the prison situation has been like that for decades. It's been like that.
Yeah.
I mean, no one cares,
We
Nothing
man.
wrong.
we used to take food and clothes and stuff, to the prison to give to prisoners. There was nothing there. I mean, I visited prisons across the country. I went to Banga prison. The prison in Banga, if you saw it, human beings were not even supposed to be
It
in
is
that
an issue problem.
So we worked for years on prison reform, and what you are saying is true. Successive administrations have simply failed to pay
Because of the
attention
intent.
to
Because of the
prisons.
intent.
Because they felt, hey, I'm never going to go there. My people will not go there, or whatever. But that is an abuse. That is an abuse because no human being, not not just because they committed a crime, should live in that type of squalor.
Wow.
That's terrible human rights abuse. They put PP right there. You can't even go inside. Go inside the PP. Everything is right there. Toilets are broken. There's nothing. They sleep on the bare floor.
What do you mean
No
toilets are
food.
broken? I said pee bucket and poo bucket.
Yeah.
That's
Well, those days. So they have PP bucket. Their relative
PP.
care food. Relative cook food
You
and
remember?
carry it to them.
Wait,
The
wait,
guys eat
wait,
the
wait.
food.
Alfonso, you remember that thing they call the chimon bucket? You know
Leave
chimon
up on it.
The
They pee
the
around the
food
floor and they
itself
sleep
is
on the floor.
irregular.
bucket?
Yeah, so it has been horrible, and that's one area. And it's the responsibility of the Ministry of Justice because the corrections agency falls under the Ministry of Justice. In fact, there's an assistant minister of justice for
For
corrections.
corrections. Yeah.
Yeah, and they need to deal with those things. I remember one of the best prisons. In fact, they used to call it correction facility that existed was in Zwedru. Grand Cedar County. It was built, I think, under the top administration. That was a correction facility. People went to prison when it's to jail. I hate to say prison because again, it was even though it was prison,
Yeah,
but it had
there's
a
a
lot of
distinction
facilities.
between the two, right?
Yeah, people came from those places as carpenters, as mechanics, different trades, as builders that came out and they were rehabilitated. So there was the mental health component, but also the skills training component. So they came back and were reabsorbed into society to become contributing members of society. So they didn't have to go back to crime again. People found jobs for them when they came out of that. That is a model that I hope we should return to because those people are not animals. We can just throw them in a den like pigs with dancing in the mud and think that we're doing better. They will come out. When they come out, they become hardened criminals because of the way we have treated them over there. We haven't helped them to with
Yeah,
rehabilitation.
but it did, yeah.
Exactly.
All right, thank you. So we are now at intermission. Welcome to the Issues Room 248th broadcast. We'd like to thank Christopher Wesley, Dualu for calling in. It was a pleasure having you back here from the good old days. Jab Lamo, welcome to the show. Godwin Weado, Shaggy McAfee. It's a pleasure having you here tonight. Of course, Flumo Livingstone, Hashim Fambule, never late, always when you can make it here. We appreciate it. Amos Ganwe as well, Fergie Monu. Thank you so much, T. Dawkins Riches,
Always.
showing up here. Always good to see you guys. So, if Moses, let's
Yeah.
let's pick up on the
Always.
what you wanted to talk about. I have
Oh, okay.
queued, and
Yeah.
quickly before you do that, let me just say, Kou, welcome to the show, my lady. Welcome, welcome, big man. Thank you for joining us here. But and the lines open anytime you guys call. We can pause and let you weigh in. It's always we're more interactive. We don't want to keep giving segment for calling and all of that. We think that if the topic is good and something comes to mind, go ahead, call. We'll take that 1 minute, give it to you so you can make your point. So the line's open. You see the number is right there posted on the screen. But yes, Moses, you wanted us to talk about the Joseph Boyka Foundation. So go ahead and introduce. I have a clip here. He
Mhm.
visited the John F. Kennedy Medical Center. So introduce the topic.
Okay. Quick level, can you just give me 1 or 2 seconds? Let me see. Let's start on a positive note.
Okay.
Today, the president donated. We saw him donate 3 generators,
Hmm.
giant-sized generators, to the Roberts International Airport, and the donations will really help in restoring electricity at the airport. That is something that we didn't see 6 years ago, so that's commendable. And I think the president also donated a fire truck,
For the
so
airport.
for the airport,
Absolutely.
that's extremely laudable. And the government and through the president also unveiled 20 police cars, brand new police cars. So we see some positive things happening in the country. Now, the questions that most people will ask, but where is this money coming from, right? They all making to the presidency as a poor man.
No,
Is
no,
he
no,
using
not
his
a poor
personal?
man, a broke man. There's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
difference between broke and poor. Please, 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 please.
yeah. Mr. Baga came to the presidency, as a broke man, quote unquote broke
I
man.
say I broke tonight, but I'm poor.
But I think they're doing some good. They're doing some good stuff. Now let's come to the issue of the foundation. You know, President Boaka has a foundation that says humanity. This foundation was established prior to him becoming president of the Republic of Liberia. They do community work. They help the poor, and they help to improve the living condition of the needy in the country. So that is something laudable. In recent times, the foundation, right now, the foundation is headed by a group of private Liberians. So that's good. that we have people who are doing this kind of job. You saw the president himself at JFK. I don't know whether he did it in the name of the foundation, but I think 2 or 3 days ago he was at JFK, dishing out pampers, dishing out baby top and other things for infants. So that's also good. Again, the question people are asking: should the president be doing this? Is it something that his foundation should be doing? So these are things that we want to look at tonight. It's not bad for the president to do stuff like this. Even in the great United States, research shows that President Joe Biden has a foundation that also does humanitarian work. Obama, former President Obama, also had a foundation that was helping the poor, especially in Chicago, working with the black community, they're helping to improve the lives of those people. In Liberia, before Mr. Walker became president, we have what they call the WIA project, you know, and the WIA project was also dishing out money, and doing all kinds of stuff in the community. So when you look at this, a couple of questions come to your mind. And like in the United States, these foundations, Biden Foundation, Obama Foundation, they are run by private individuals. And the donors, those who donate, those who donate to the foundations are not from the public sector, are private citizens. If someone chooses to donate, they do so. And even with that, when someone donates, that donation is made public. And, they don't want people who have political interest in something and try to use the donation, as a springboard to get what they want. So, for example, you may have a Moses Sandy who wants to be Minister of Information, hypothetically, and he calls President Boakai to mind and say, "Oh, Mr. President, I would donate $10,000 to your foundation." In less than 1 week, Moses Sandy is named as Minister of Information, replacing Jeremy Pierre. Pierre Momet, don't worry, I'm not after your job. I'm just being hypothetical here. So these are some of the questions that people ask. Who are these people? What is the political interest? Should the president be running a foundation? And I thought that this is very important for us to have this conversation because if people in government, we talk about conflict of interest. If the President Foundation is having a fundraiser and the Minister of Finance shows up, whether he likes it or not, he's going to commit. A volcano shelter, say he's at the Ministry of Commerce, he said, "Oh man, the President Foundation having fundraiser," and they send you invitation, obviously you're going to commit. This is some of the ethical things that I want us to look at tonight.
All right. Okay.
What does this mean for Liberia? Yes.
All right. So
Yeah.
you've given your background
Hmm.
to the situation, but let's bring live the situation so people can
Yeah.
see what we're talking about. So this is the president's arrival at the John F. Kennedy Medical Center.
Hmm.
So we are coming to you live from the John F. Kennedy Medical Center, the JFK, from the maternity center, where President Joseph Yimam Wakai, along with First Lady Katumon Wakai, has come to do some donation to baby mothers who cannot afford So keep watching. The name is George Cooper. Uh, so President Wakai, along with his wife, had just arrived. Where President Wakai has
And gentlemen, what's intriguing to me, right? In Liberia, when the president is going somewhere, all government officials just leave the offices just to be a part of the photo.
Yeah.
Where all the crowd here going again, my people? You can't go to Ali, you see the man before? You were there in meeting with the man the other day to the president retreat. You were there when the man appointed you and commissioned you. Go do your work. You got in the hospital again. They want to create a stampede.
Yeah.
Now, you know that who here right now? You know they here. They here. What
And I remember you're busy.
that chance that
The chance, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I think Senator is an advisor. He's some kind of advisor, eh?
No, I think he's some deputy minister for state.
You see the thing we talk about Volcano, and 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 Volcano.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just something quickly I want to say. Do you
so it's
think the
not easy
president?
here. We are here
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
John
yeah,
F. Kennedy
guys.
Medical
Quickly,
Center,
right?
where President
If you can just lower something I want to say here as a media person to tell you how terrible the president communication team is. Do you think the president should be covered by cell phones? You need ENG. This is executive media coverage. You don't need people with little cell phones all over the place. Where's LBS? Where's the Ministry of Information here? Everybody got these $10 cell phones in their hand. They call it TV. Go ahead.
Joseph Waka Sr., along with his wife, Mr. Katuma Wakai, has come to do some donation here to baby mothers at the maternity center here. There are some baby mothers who uh, gave on birth.
Look at that.
African American.
Somebody will argue say, but routine I want to work out full up paper and I just do the routine doing. That's also plastic bucket and rubber chair. This is make it right in Guinea.
Yeah, making me have a gun.
We are here. But I tell you, it's not easy to actually capture due to serious security protocol here. We keep watching that they are going to be receiving talks.
Man, no fool out born and made some money, oh.
And to be frank, you can see when things are not so organized, and everybody trying to, jump into things. Anyway, Moses, we just wanted to show the
Yeah.
president arrived. We saw his wife.
Hmm.
We saw government officials. We seen a
Yeah.
mass media,
Yeah.
whether they,
Everybody will suffer.
whether they belong there or not. But yeah, you had concerns, and now you raised it. So let's hear from Alfonso. Alfonso, Moses is contending that the president at this point should leave some of these things up to the foundation itself, since he has to focus on the presidency more than to be out here trying to donate things. Because the optic is that, oh, the president is still trying to gain relevance. He's identifying with people who are needy, even though his foundation did exist before um, today, meaning when he gave these donations. Because I remember he gave was it a boat or a little ferry between
Hmm.
Oh
Idan
yeah, yeah. In Basel there,
and
yeah.
Basso, Idan, and across the
Yeah.
St. John River. So now that he's president, should he still be doing these things, or should his executive director for the foundation be the one doing these things?
So I mean, I think it's the optics. Should the president's foundation continue to function? Absolutely. Should the president's foundation continue to, help needy people? I saw what happened at JFK as per the video you just showed, and the foundation was making contributions to poor women who don't have the means to get diapers, to get tops, and chairs, and just little essentials for their newborns. So it's a great idea. It really is a great idea. I agree with Moses uh, in the sense that maybe the president didn't have to go there. The president's foundation can still make those donations without the president himself going there. Maybe the president's wife, the first lady, could have gone with the chair of the foundation to make those donations. If it were me personally, but the foundation has to operate, so fine, But if it was a personal contribution, personal donation from me, I wouldn't have even videotaped it. Or I wouldn't have even videotaped the faces of those women who were receiving it, because in a way it diminishes them.
This is
So
It
many people, yeah.
Yeah. So I wouldn't have done that. And the problem with the president going there is that, and you guys stated it, then all the other government officials leave their jobs and follow the president as well. Or the people at the executive mansion who should be there doing their jobs are now have to follow the president as part of the protocol. The protocol team has to follow. The deputy for communication follows everybody. So in a way, it shouldn't be. I think it was ill advised that the president himself went to make these donations, whereas
and
his
and
wife
openly
could have done so. Yeah.
and openly. So yeah,
Yeah.
here's my take on it, right?
Mm.
If I were the president and I wanted to visit the JFK, because I've heard, oh, they confiscate mothers who have babies and can't pay the hospital bill to keep them there, to
Mm.
hold them hostage. I want to go in and identify with the situation. As President Shelton, I come in and I look at the condition of the folks, visit and speak with the hospital management and say, hey, these are the things we need to do. I will meet, I'm just health minister, of course, the chief medical officer. These are the people who will be in the room with me to discuss our international partners with representation. And after that discussion, I can turn to my foundation head and say, hey, what I saw here,
Yeah.
not today, come later and do some donation on behalf of the foundation, because I see that they need buckets, I see that they need chairs, I see that they need diapers, I see that they need formula, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
But to take upon yourself and take a working day or a portion of a working day as a sitting president, we continue to do the same thing over and over and over. And we
Mhm.
think that it's normal. No, it's not normal. Mr. President, everything does not have to be camera. Everything does not have to be in the photo. It doesn't. So all you have done, go visit the JFK under a normal condition, assess the situation, look at the condition there, bring the people responsible, see how you can improve the budget to help the situation. Then again, as I said, turn to your executive director for the foundation, say, you know, when I'm gone, a day or two, go down there and make donation for the things that I saw firsthand that they need. That will not create a spectacle.
Right.
That will not create the optics. And that's my take. If I were president, that's what I'll do.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense. You don't have to be the face, or your foundation can work on your behalf. And even with that, the decision set regarding as to how funds generated by your foundation and how that fund is utilized, you want to leave that right, that decision making to the private group of individuals that you will appoint to head it. And you're completely off. You guys go and do it. If the Lord touches my heart, I give something to the foundation. You have a board of directors, run it. I just want to help humanity, but I don't want my name in the middle. Moses Sandy went to this place today. He gave somebody $10 tobacco water. I don't want to be in the middle of that. If you say Moses Sandy's foundation, Workers Foundation did this, you know, it it sounds real good. But if the president himself is really dishing out all these things, and now people are wondering, but wait now, the mayor, Henry Costa say, he the one who taking care of you. Where all the money coming from now? A lot of questions.
You know what I mean? You better take us to whatever country is
I
there.
think it's clear, Moses, that Henry Costa was lying. I mean, the old man
No,
and his
I'm just kidding.
so let's not even bring it
Look, look, you coming in whatever country, you coming. So you won't run away like a business. You coming, you coming. Whatever country is this? We coming with it.
Well, Mazo Baba.
No, it's I
No,
just wanted to be a little careful,
yeah,
let's keep
but,
the Henry
now what
Costa
Henry
man.
Costa? Henry Costa. Moses, what you say? What,
No, they don't want to take care of the
what do you say?
Henry
I didn't
Costa,
get it. Hold on, Alfonso.
Henry,
Moses, what you
Henry,
say?
yeah.
Moses, what you
You know,
say?
it's everything he used to raise money to take care of the money.
So how the foundation got money now?
Yeah, but they just selling more, man, but they just throwing money all over the place.
Uh,
Look,
Henry Costa also said that the old man was going to die in 6 months' time. So
yeah, I don't get like crazy, man.
yeah, so that's leave Henry Costa.
Well,
Yeah. So in
well,
terms of the
we gotta
way
wrap
to
it
do
up
it,
because we gotta go to memory lane.
I know
Yeah.
very
That's
quickly on the issue of the foundation and the fundraising and all of that.
Mhm.
Like you said, presidents, leaders around the world have foundations and they donate. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with President Barkai continuing his foundation, especially so he founded his foundation and been doing a lot of things before
Yeah.
he became president. Transparency is important, and I agree.
Absolutely.
And one of the ways these foundations around the world do it is they actually publish a list of donors and the amount of money they give. So
Absolutely.
that's
That's a
public
key one.
information.
Yeah.
There's
Yes.
a repository that you can go to on their website or whatever. You go and see the donors and how much they gave to the process to make it open. So people
Mhm.
are not saying, "Oh, the person president." So now they're taking government money to do this, to do that. You can
Right.
go and see who's contributing to the Obama Foundation, for example, how much they contributed. The Obama Foundation itself makes financial reports, that are open that people can go and look at. So that is another way, that it should be done. And I hope, they do it. But the Baga Foundation does have a team. I was just reading about them. They have an executive director,
Yes, they
they
do.
have
Yeah.
staff. They also do implementation, according to their website, through partner organizations in the communities and rural places, especially. I just want to make that point, especially the point about transparency.
Yeah. I mean,
But then Moses, just before you say something quick,
yeah.
if you look at the two tracks, right?
Mm.
So Baga Foundation was functional,
Right.
and now President Weah Foundation
King when he became president.
The We Are project. I don't know if it's still.
We are project. No,
Let me
I
take
think
this call
dead.
here. I'm not. Yeah, let me just see here.
We are project is dead.
Are you calling for the show tonight? The caller from 3252.
Yes.
Okay, great. Your name?
Oh, this is Shaggy McCarthy. How you
Oh,
doing?
Shaggy, how are you, brother? How you doing? My man, the number you calling here,
Okay, Shaggy.
they got all kind of men that just call people. The other one call me and say, "Oh, I'm calling you because we got the class project." Not knowing that scammer from Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
But what kind of trouble we see in the
Oh wow.
country? So yeah,
Oh yeah, they tell you say one send a code.
yeah.
Don't
I
tell-
said
don't
code.
don't
I
do
said, what kind of code?
that.
Money. He said you won't
And they
send.
want to hug your account.
Oh man, welcome. You guys
Yeah.
saw the number. I saw 445. I said, no, no, they want
No, that's my work number.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Shaggy.
Well, I just want to make one point. How you guys doing, Alphonso and Moses?
Yeah, we're okay, Shaggy.
Um,
It's a pleasure to hear from you.
I just wanted to my contribution regarding the donation. I don't have problem with JB doing donation, but I'm looking at it more of him being the president. As a president, you shouldn't be donating to government organizations.
That's
So
true.
like JFK, they should have, that should be something the foreign donors do. The airport, that should be something. In fact, the airport should be able to take care of themselves. I put in
Absolutely.
my comment, they're charging people, for coming to the airport, they're charging airline fees. They have all this money that they should be able to take care of themselves on their own. And that's why people paid money. So you shouldn't have somebody else donate it. Now, if, a foreign, country or somebody want to donate, that's fine. But for GMB, I believe as a president, his job is to make sure the airport is doing what it needs to do to run on their own. JFK needs to do what they're doing to run on their own. Now, if his foundation want to donate, they can find the different communities, go to the less fortunate, and do that. Like we talked about Obama and people in America.
Nobody, yeah.
Obama never donated to any government organization. They go to the local communities, um, different groups, less fortunate. I know most recently they donated iPads, I think, to minority children who parents couldn't afford. That's what your foundation do as a donation, not donate to the government because the government should be able to afford on their own. So that's just my point I wanted to make. That donations should go to a different cause, and GMB should focus on the government running themselves and being able to produce money to provide for themselves. That's what the government does. So,
I think that's a
I
good
thank
point.
you guys.
Very excellent point he made.
Yeah.
I
I think
think you're right.
yeah,
I agree
JFK,
with you.
JFK should have the kind of
Yeah.
facility to take care of the mothers
Hmm.
because
I
it's an
think
institution on the government. I think that's the point he's trying to drive.
it's
Yeah.
an important point. I agree that there's a way to contribute. The JFK donation, however, I think is slightly different. The JFK contribution was not to JFK; it was to mothers who were at the hospital who just gave birth. The RIA contribution, I agree. That's why I have a problem. IRA is a government entity. You're going to donate generators and stuff to them. No, they should be able to buy, or the government should put money in the budget to buy generators for them, or they should be able to raise money and buy their own generators. So the JFK contribution is slightly different because it went directly to the needed people, except that they were at the hospital and it was given to them at the hospital. To that extent, I can excuse them a little bit. But I agree totally when it comes to making contributions to government entities and agencies. They should be able to raise their own resources to do that.
All right, thank you. Memory lane, Moses was supposed to be an hour. We're going 8 hours.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
let's take
Hmm.
that
Yeah. Memory lane. Yeah.
ready for me to hit the road.
Yeah.
So let's do memory lane here tonight. Dr. Manis Sumo, he wrote something called the realistic identification of the land called Liberia, the secrets, the lies, the truth. Again, memory lane. The caption here is the realistic identification of the land called Liberia, the secrets, the lies, the truth. The open truth is that by then in 1885, at the infamous Berlin Conference to divide Africa, Liberia was now 38 years old as an independent nation. The open truth is that the American Colonization Society, the ACS, founded Liberia in the 1800s. The open truth is that Liberia gained independence from the ACS, and the C in the ACS stands for colonization. The secret is that they don't want you to believe in the C, colonization, and colonization, no matter what, in the textbook or in a political interpretation, is colonization. The secret is that by then Liberia faced political threats from Britain. Consequently, the ACS ordered the colony of Liberia to declare independence. Upon gaining independence in 1847, European nations considered Liberia a U.S. independent colony. And it is for this reason that during the 1885 Berlin Conference, the partition of Africa, Liberia was exempted from the list of countries to be owned by European superpowers. The secret is that the United States did not want to own any direct colony in Africa, nor were they interested in colonization. So they told the founding fathers of Liberia that Liberia was never colonized. But yet, the open truth is that the US government sponsored the ACS, and if colonization was a crime, then the US government was an accessory to the crime. The open truth is that any country that celebrates Independence Day was once colonized. The lie they told you is that Liberia was never colonized. The lie they told you is that they paid money for land that was occupied by our returnee brothers and sisters. The natives of those days had no use of the US dollars or the British shillings. The natives by then rather, used the barter system of trading and not money. So who the money was paid to? How was it spent if they bought the land? Good point. On this 177th year of our existence as an independent nation, let us recognize our true identity. Say yes to the fact that Liberia was once colonized by the ACS with US government support. Say yes that no European nation ever colonized Liberia. The open truth is that Liberia's economy is heavily dependent on its natural resources. The open truth is Liberia continues to struggle with poverty and inequality. The open truth is that the so-called multi-party democracy has further divided us than united us. The open truth is, as we celebrate independence, which means freedom from an external power, let us appreciate the sacrifices of our founding fathers, both the natives and the settlers. They made the sacrifices so that we can have a Liberia today. Happy 177th pre-birth anniversary to the country. Let us sing a song of unity, love, and respect for the rule of law. Singer man, sing me our song. Love is all we want. I come in peace. Dr. Manu Sumo. And the caption is the realistic identification of the land called Liberia, the secrets, the lies, and the truth.
Thank you, Dr. Sumo.
What is the truth? If Henry Costa said he was sponsoring the Papier Today Foundation flourishing and not giving gifts all over the place.
What is the truth? The man
What
used
country, what type of country is this?
to call his hero, but send public high the picture the hero go down the hill.
No, the human dialect me by me.
The hero disappeared.
Since JMB became president, Henry Costa, the hero, died a mean by man.
The hero give it, my man. Oh, Jesus.
The hero went to make peace the other day with the vice president. What
Yeah,
is the vice president? He said, he posted,
yeah,
I
yeah.
met with the vice president today. We shook hands. We did this. And you was going to be vice president. And if you can, you so you can be the vice president.
So Moses,
Yeah,
you know what concerns me? What type of country is this? The guys who bragged that they're doing so well in America,
yeah.
good jobs. They go to Liberia to go hustle,
They still
waiting
waiting
for
for
job.
two
These
thousand
guys,
dollar job.
we, we
How,
are we are trying to put you more on
hey,
how,
stop it,
how,
stop it.
how,
Don't me, Moses. Moses, you try to slow down.
yeah.
Mostly get
What
somebody in
about
mind for Volcano.
yeah?
Mostly get
No,
somebody
how
in mind.
many nobody knew? But what type of country is this? Look, what type of country is this, right? The president of the United States annual income is $400,000. And what type of country is this? We got somebody from America who say he was making $240,000 a year because he was making $20,000 every month. But they may go to library waiting for $2,000 job. What type of country is this?
What type of country is this, Shaki McCaffrey? You went from hero to zero in one speech. Honest Sumo, what type of
What
country
type
is
of
this?
country is this? Oh?
Is doing foundation work. Tell me, Moses.
Yeah,
What
the president doing foundation work.
honest Sumo? What type of country is this? The whole that we are can say you're talking about
Yeah,
one president.
yeah,
The
the whole
whole
president
doing foundation work. What type of country is this? Alfonso, make your case. Tell me.
Uh, uh,
But Tony Magabush said, well, Henry P. Costa needs to make sacrifices.
like
what
what?
type
Why
of
gotta sacrifice? My birthday sheep and go sacrifice or something?
and then Mr. Kuma making human sacrifices.
Oh
Moses, I like your memory. Yeah. The man said Jeremiah Kun
So making human sacrifices.
selling him up parts.
Tony
Yeah.
Magabush. Tony Magabush, whatever sacrifice the man need to make. You got to dollar me by me. I'm a picking, but I let that ball, but he dollar me by me.
The knee bar disappear, man.
The hero dollar me by me. So Moses, yeah, what type of country is this? You leave your good job here, you just sit down in Morovia language,
Yeah. You
language,
wait,
man.
you waiting for one Jeep and more.
But what type of country is this? Shaggy McCaffrey, JMB working for government and his foundation at the same time. If the foundation wants to be there, let it be after work hours, not or on the weekend. I
Yeah.
think that's a good point. If I
What are true? Got to charge the public because you are using our taxpayer money. Oh.
debut,
Yeah. If they use our taxpayer money to be double deputy, why you use our tax to go to foundation work?
eh? No. If I say you the legal luminary here, you always defending wrong. I won't say right. Make the case now. That's a very
Well,
good point. I'll put it
Yeah,
on
that's
the
a
really,
good point.
well,
That's
really
a good
fast.
point,
that's the reason
man.
why, as we said earlier,
Uh,
the president shouldn't be the one involved in making these
Foundation
releases
work.
because that might
Yeah.
take away. However, I mean, presidents around the world use the working 24/7. So
Yeah.
even on the weekend, the president is still working.
hey, oh man, yeah, you there? You see, Flomo Livingston, you don't think you guys are like minds. The man said the
Yeah,
president doesn't have a day off.
that is true. That is very true.
It's
With the court comes
24/7.
10 a.m., 10
That
a.m.
Flomo Livingston boy die for black guy. He can see nothing
No,
wrong. Yeah,
but
Jefferson Koji die for we are.
no, Plummer is right though. Like the president can't say, "Oh, 9 to 5, my job over now." When they call 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock, and say something happening, the president has to go there. Even when with Biden in, suffering from COVID in Delaware, they're still briefing him about the crowd strike, collapse today, where airlines were not running and all of that. You still working 24/7. So
It's 24/7.
Yeah, but man, you're talking. I saw something came through my emails today at work.
Hmm.
It said there was a blackout.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
Since it affected airlines and all.
yeah.
around
I'm
the
a
whole world.
I got
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole world. Yep.
Joe, yeah.
our man Joe Anderson is getting married Saturday next week.
Oh, okay.
Remember EFBC Joe Anderson?
Yeah, our man Anderson. Yeah, Joe, yeah.
Wedding is in Charlotte, North Carolina.
I mean, we gotta wish our man well, man.
Yeah.
Joe, happy
uh,
wedding, yeah.
Shaki saying something. Oh.
Oh, they won.
It says
But
out
yeah,
loud. So we have to for the 2 day vacation.
Yeah. So the president don't wear.
yeah, that's true. Shaggy said that the net of what 42 of 52 days. Yeah. That the only man who took vacation from the job.
Yeah.
You see, the
Dr.
man
Manis,
always made history about.
what type of country is this when the president can multitask? Foundation work, presidential work, deacon work, and taking care of Henry Costa.
And taking care of the
Come on.
oh, Jesus.
The multitasking.
Yeah, whatever country is this, oh?
But man, let's also talk to President Baga King if all. Yaka Koluba said, you say you get into public service and you want nobody call your nigga my grandchildren, but you can't public service with trouble you.
No, but the president is our friend. Yeah, the president is our friend. He knows that we work very hard for
The
him.
president is friend of the media.
Yeah, he's our friend. Yeah,
Hmm.
he knows what we sing is in the interest of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, whatever country is here, when you work for 4 months, my man, if people give you one more pay, then they announce it. Oh,
Then
they put you on TV.
And oh man, where you credit that from when you walk in home? She said, "Yeah, I told Bill, bring my pen." Yeah, oh, my.
He say, boy, when you told you at top pay, so you go and saw you on TV.
like bro, just oh, Moses, you said it weird Sunday. What? But man, everybody trying to do things straight, like we're just doing things different. Different. The way we talk, the way we act, the way we think is just
Yeah.
different, man. Yeah, man. And there's a global phenomenon, you know?
Mhm.
There's a global phenomenon. But we just the anomaly when it comes to the global phenomenon. What?
What Flomo said? The hammer now said,
Whatever
Like
country.
Shaggy said,
"Oh,
yeah, I'm
Shaggy said."
gonna do the same thing.
Oh, my man, Jonathan is just coming. Oh,
Like Bro say, what type of country is this when JMB has yet to release his first album? So we had a single. And the purpose
yeah.
ought to be able to release something because he's a deacon, he know those hymns. Maybe one gospel album.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't mind you, my our man. We are with drop one by next week. Go.
Wait, give me to talk about the Apple situation.
The
What
man
type
will drop one by next week, my man, before the 26th.
let me read a few quick. What type of country is this that Henry Costa in Liberia and no one cares?
What our country do? And of course, he on your own, my man. If people feeling we in long time.
The government pay Liberians today. The government of Liberia today
See,
paid
say what's that?
students for 2 months.
Oh wow, really?
Madam Ella Hogue is watching. I'll see you at the wedding, Ella.
Hey,
We'll be
cool,
in
Ella.
this weekend. Yeah, Ella Hogue.
Okay, yeah.
What type of country is this? When everybody building overpass, we building roundabout and have
I
police
have
directing traffic.
directed. He said, "My man, don't get out of lane." Oh."
I mean, you had a crosswalk there. Wait, you leave a crosswalk, you walk in the middle of the road. After you know to come on this side.
Yeah, you guys are crazy. Oh,
What type of country is this? JMB is working hard for his foundation versus the government.
yeah. What type of country is this? Oh? JMB voting
Today,
for former
Push.
president.
Voting for former President Weah as president was a great disgrace to us as
As Liberians.
Jackie McCarthy.
Tonight, I hate our mess over.
When you ask about Henry Costa, people say, who?
This is all that boy. Henry Costa disappeared from the scene, my man. The hero go MIA.
Yeah, so me dollar me my man.
Hero gone MIA, my man.
I think my man like bro. I gotta find a way to catch up with
No, but the man's in like, bro, the man hanging with old man or urine. No.
whatever country is this when roundabout becomes the attraction of the month. I tell you.
But
See the
then,
roundabouts there. I think what the man about mixing concrete on the ground instead of using concrete mixer, the man that brought wheelbarrow insane and mixing on the ground. Can you imagine you doing an industrialization work and people manually bringing wheelbarrow insane? I mean, saying wheelbarrow.
yeah,
Man, busting the red that put cross right inside and mix it and said, I mean, I
you
give.
can run about, yeah.
I was there when they were building it, so I know nobody can tell me it's a lie.
Your other investment, my man. And they say the flower, the stuff that they call flower down there, that artificial, that plastic, ain't no natural flower.
No, no,
Yes,
yeah,
in the
yeah,
middle there.
yeah. That what
Yeah,
they using the artificial turf, the grass.
yeah, that what they're using. Yeah. How do you do that? That stuff. I mean, there was a need to make that natural, my man, so it can keep growing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so Henry is in Liberia, but you're not getting, you're not getting like.
Gentlemen, that is
Yeah.
it. We got to call it a night.
Yes.
By the grace of God,
Yes, so
we'll be
yeah,
back
it was good.
Friday.
Good
After
being
this,
here.
in the meantime, let me quickly remind the folks that the Issues Room comes to you Tuesdays and Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But we've resolved that we will broadcast from now to our anniversary, which is September 14, officially 3 years old, and that will be on a Saturday. And the Sunday after that, we'll only broadcast once a week, every Sunday at 3 p.m.
Okay.
Every Sunday at 3 p.m. We want to give you, our American audience, after church, the opportunity to come and hang out with us. At the same time, we want to reach out to the Liberian audience as well. Because broadcasting this late, people are in bed, maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. If we get a guest, we already can't have that guest come through. So there's a lot of things in the background. And we also want to go on local radio stations in the country. So broadcasting at a time when it's feasible would be the best thing. So again, we're going to continue on this schedule until September 14th. September 15th, officially, will be 3 o'clock every Sunday, going forward once a week. They think that work.
01 year old.
The Liberian man said that work. That work.
01.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you so much to everyone who showed up here tonight. We'll be back here on Tuesday. I got to run. Moses got to run. Alfonso got to run. We say have a
So,
great weekend. By the grace of God, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Come back, please. You know, Liberia always got something for us. We ain't got to go look for news.
no.
News can come to us. Yeah.
The news can come crawling, eh?
And safe travels, my man. Safe
Yeah,
travels.
man, be safe, oh.
Yeah.
Enjoy your trip, yeah.
Yeah.
Let God take you and your family.
No, no,
Bye-bye.
And
yeah.
Yeah.
happy birthday to the young
Oh,
lady.
yeah. Oh, my daughter
Yeah.
celebrates her birthday tomorrow. So,
Oh,
happy birthday.
you're gonna drive heavily up there, my man. You're go chill, though.
Happy pre birthday, Evangeline.
Yeah. Thank
Congratulations.
you.
Congratulations. And wish you all the best life can offer. Even when the old man gone, I wish you the very best. You know, when people say, well, don't tell her that. Oh,
But
man,
I like, my
I
man.
got to end. I don't care what you do.
It will end.
You got to end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for
We
your
saw, we saw well.
king. Come back.
Hmm?
Come back.
Yeah.
Come back.
We will keep monitoring you, please.
No, he said you'll keep monitoring.
The show. The
Me
show.
Okay.
again. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, gentlemen.
Okay.
Let me
All right.
just acknowledge the folks in the room. So quickly, I'd like to thank all of you for coming, tuning Maga Bush, LS Maga Bush, Shaggy McCaffrey. Good to have you back. I know sometimes the work schedule kind of kill and people can be here always, but always good to see you guys when you make the effort. Christopher Wesley, thank you. Thomas Awaji, of course, the main man behind the scene. Thank you, Ella Hook, for joining us here tonight. Flomo Livingston, of course, as usual. Liberia. We say thank you. Dr. Manasumbo, for your contribution and continued viewership. We want to thank you for that. We say thank you to Dolo Dolo. Thank you for joining us here, Henry Dennis, tonight. It was a pleasure having you in the house. Uh, Gloria Voka Moba, thank you for joining us. Our man Agassi Dwalu just made a call in, contributed to the show. Jab Lambo, Godwin William, Godwin Weirdo. Thank you for coming in here. Hashem Fambule, it was a pleasure. Amos Ganwe, thank you to Fergie Moyu, Dawkins Richards, all you guys who showed up here tonight. Can't go through the whole list. Just so much good people showed up, and we just appreciate your time and your viewership. We'll be back here Tuesday. Volcano Shelton on behalf of Moses and Alphonso. Have a good weekend. God bless you all, and God bless me too. Good night.